Hi everyone! So we're going to answer another question here, and it's from a Carlen or Carlene. So it's spelled C-A-R-L-E-N. So I'm going to call you Carlene. So hi Carlene, if you're watching. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me if I pronounced your name wrong. I'm going to call you Carlene, okay? So Carlene asked, can you please make a video on how you choose your fruit? So Carlene also had other explanations in her comment on that question to me. So I'm just going to share with you guys kind of how I choose my fruit, given that I live up here in a really cold climate. I live in Fairbanks, Alaska. I've lived up here my entire life, and it gets all the way down to minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. It does get colder than that, but the coldest I have felt is minus 60, and for most of the winter it's below zero temperatures. It's well below zero temperatures, so that means fruit ripens very differently than most of you guys in warmer climates. And because most of you guys know that fruit ripens a lot faster and better and properly, you know, when it's warm, when it's in room temperature, you know, warmer temperatures. But when fruit is like in the refrigerator or in a really cool area, the ripening process of the fruit slows way down. It slows way down. And so that's one good way of preserving your fruit for a long time, I guess, if you're wanting to do that. If you're trying to get to other fruits and you're just kind of missing out on some of them, it's good to put them in the fridge for the time being. But I know I try to keep my fruit as warm as possible. Because that's one thing I have found, that it's also kind of hit or miss also, because I know for me, the way I choose my fruit is I really try to choose my fruit when it's the ripest ones possible. That's what I do, is when I go out fruit shopping, I always pick the ripest fruit possible, because I know how it is up here. I know how the fruit ripens up here, and about I want to say just about like 1/4 of the fruit from the hauls, not every single haul that I do, but from a majority of the hauls, there's hit and miss fruit, the fruit that just doesn't ripen, you know. And so this is the current fruity stash I thought I'd share with you guys, because it's very appropriate, because I have several fruits that just did not ripen properly, you know. And so I'm like, okay, this is very appropriate to do this video on this question. So and you guys, just real quick, I am not blushing, guys. I'm not blushing. It has been 25, 30 below all day today, and I have been in and out for work all day, as I always do for my job. And so I am warming up, okay? I'm warming up. I'm not blushing, okay? I'm just warming up from the cold, okay? So this is the current fruity stash. Of course, I've been feeling the yellow nanners, so I've got some of those. Amazing grapes from Walmart. These have been absolutely fantastic. So if you can see that sideways or upside down, sorry guys, but that's the brand. These are just amazing. My favorite solo diamond head papayas, regular navel oranges, tangelos, cutie oranges, kumquats, of course apples, lemons, heirloom tomatoes, and some kiwis and cuties. I think I mentioned that, but that's my current fruity stash right there. And also I like to buy enough fruit for mono meals. I am a highly big fan of mono meals, so I know when I go fruit shopping, I always pick enough fruit for mono meals. And I am also one who loves variety also, so I always buy a variety of fruits, but I like to buy enough for mono meals too. So I know, so like I mentioned, you guys, it's kind of hit or miss, and I think it comes with experience, I guess. Over time, the more you buy a certain type of fruit, the more you learn when the moldy ones are, what mold feels like, smells like, and feels like just from the outside of the fruit before you buy it, or before it starts rotting on your countertop, you start to know when the pinpoints of the ripening stages are of your fruit and stuff, and that helps you pick out your fruit. But I know for me, there's a lot of times I buy my normal fruit when I know when I should buy it, and it's a hit and miss, you know. Like, this is a plantain banana. I love plantain bananas, and I have them so much. I know when they're perfectly ripe and when to eat them and everything. And I bought them at my normal stage where they're I always look for the ones that are the yellowish, the yellow ones, because they never let any black ones out there. So I picked up all the yellow ones that I could find. I always leave the green ones because I know what happens when I buy the green ones. And this turned completely black because plantain bananas are supposed to be completely black, but they're supposed to be squishy before you can eat them. That's when they're super ripe. But this is rock hard. There's something wrong with this. And there's something wrong here, guys. And it's been ripening on my countertop for 3 weeks. So there's a problem here. So this is a hit and miss one. I didn't even know. I didn't know that. I bought them at the normal stage I usually buy them in, and it just a hit and miss, you know, hit and miss. So that will be composted. So you just kind of have to let it go. Don't let it bother you. I know you paid money for it, but let it go. It's okay. It's all right. That's just the way things go with real food, with the real living food, you know. And then same with yellow bananas. We all know when yellow bananas are ripe and ready, you know. And for me, I always pick out the yellow, the ripest ones possible, of course, which is when they start turning brown spots. You know, we all know when regular nanners are ripe, you know. We don't have to hash that over, you know. But this round I couldn't find any, because usually those are the clearance bananas, and most times I don't come across any clearance bananas. But I mean, I do, but I kind of don't. But it's got to be when I'm in the mood for nanners, you know. So this round there were no even yellow bananas out there, yellow stage bananas. They were all super, super green. So I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I did anyways. And so this has been a week on my countertop, and actually just about a week and a half now. And this is as far as it's gotten, and it's starting to turn that brownish color like that, or blackish brownish color. I hate it when it does that. They will ripen. They're starting to turn a little spotty there, but I don't like it when it does that. So I'm like, okay, hit and miss, but we'll see how that goes. You know, you just got to go with the flow with what's happening, you know. So that's okay. I know they'll still ripen, but that's just hit or miss. Hit and miss, you know. And then of course with grapes, you know, grapes, apples, and oranges, those, and lemons and everything, those are standard things. You just look for the ones that are nice and plump and juicy, you know. And of course, most fruit, a lot of you guys, well, hopefully you guys know that a lot of fruit that I have found, when it's perfectly ripe and sweet and lusciously ready for you to eat, it's when the fruit starts turning kind of moldy on the outside, and when they're soft, you know, firm but soft, you know, to the touch, and really fragrant, a sweet aroma, you know. And then they also most fruits turn deeper in color also. And so I know when I'm out there choosing my fruit, that's what I look for. I look for smell, I look for feel, you gotta feel them up, you know, and I look for sight. You use your sight, and the colors, and so you use your senses God gave you, you know. God gave you senses for a reason, not just for other things in the world, but for your food also, okay? Use your senses. And so that's what I do is, and then that's another thing is, there is a distinction between molding fruit and ripe fruit, because ripe fruit can also be, a lot of people mistake fully ripened fruit for a moldy bad fruit. A lot of people think a fruit, when it starts molding, that it's bad, but it's actually good on the inside. So also, there's kind of an iffy spot there, I guess you could say, because that I think comes in time and with experience and stuff, with the certain types of fruits that jive with you most of the time, that you gravitate to, that you like most often, and you realize when it's truly moldy and when it's truly ripe. So there is a distinction between when it looks kind of moldy on the outside versus being moldy and rotting. You know, there's a difference there. There's a difference there. And so so just for an example, these papayas and everything, I always pick out for the orangish, yellowish ones possible, you know. But sometimes there's a point where you buy fruit and you let it ripen as long as possible, and it's ripening, but it just doesn't fully ripen, and it starts rotting and molding, and it's like, but it's not ripened fully. And sometimes it just does that. So that's just hit and miss, and you just got to go with the flow, and that's just the way it happens, you know. But I know, like, there's certain fruits like figs. Figs don't ripen once they're off the tree. They have to stay on the tree in order to fully ripen. So I know for figs, I'm a fig fanatic, fig lover. I know when figs are ripe and everything. The ones that are in the pint crates that I buy, those I always make sure I'm picking out only the soft ones, and that have the fig gel, sweet gel coming out of the bottom, you know, and I leave all the hard ones, because I know those hard ones are not going to ripen, because figs they're just not going to ripen. They ripen on the tree, you know. So there's certain fruits that have to stay on the tree to fully ripen and everything before you can eat them. But a majority of the fruits are ripen once they've been cut off the tree, you know. But I'm not an expert on that or anything, you guys. It's just based off my own personal experience from having the fruit over the many years of me eating fully raw and everything, and just, if it helps you guys anyway, just sharing with you guys. And because again, it is different picking out your fruit in cold climates than it is when you're in warm climates, because that's one thing, is when you're in a warm climate, I'm sure your fruit is already ripened there on the countertop and stuff, and ripens a lot quicker. And but like these, real quick, I bought kiwis. These are sun gold kiwis, and yes, Elsie's got to make an appearance. She's got to make an appearance all the time. These are a super good kiwi. Oh my gosh, it tastes like a lemon cookie pie. It's so delicious, and it's a hairless kiwi. Awesome, right? But they're starting to wrinkle and they're soft. Like, okay, that's like I normally wait for them to ripen, but on the inside they're green. They're not, and they're tart. I'm like, what in the world's going on here? And so they were actually starting to mold a little bit. So I'm like, okay, this is a hit and miss type of fruit. Round, because I know these are supposed to be super sweet, and they're supposed to be yellow on the inside, and this is just hit and miss. So I just gotta go with the flow, you know. It's just a hit and miss. So, and that's another thing, is you kind of want to eat the fruit when it's in season too. That makes a difference also. So you guys, those are my thoughts and opinions on that. And so I'll let you guys go. Remember to love being raw. Put a big old smile on your face today. I hope I did that for you, and I'll let you guys go. I'll see you guys next video, okay? Bye guys.